and what are the stages of an issue in Jira. So basically, if we consider Jira, um, like these are the main points that I would be covering. So what are some interesting details of Jira? So basically, it is an incident management tool. So what happens is that we can consider everything as an incident. You can say, like if something happens, what happened to that? Like what are the details that we are maintaining inside the incident that we can maintain? What is the status of it? Who is handling it? What is the last update happened on that incident? So all those details basically we can get from Jira. So it's basically an Australian company based product. And Atlassian is the main one. So Jira is a small part of Atlassian, and it is an independent tool. So basically, Jira, you don't need any like you are not restricted to use it on anything. Like you can use it on Windows, you can use it on Mac. It is also available on mobile devices also. Like even on MWebs, you can open Jira and then track what work is being done. So that it is that flexible. And then it is also multilingual, like it's available in multiple languages like English, French, German, and all. So so that makes Jira more like usable in worldwide. And then it also supports MySQL, Oracle. And if you know a little bit of how to use the like codes, then it will be very easy. Like you will feel that Jira is very easy. Okay, and then you can integrate it with some other tools. Like basically, Jira, what happens is that you integrate multiple tools to it. Like you can integrate Slack. So Slack is one more. It's a communication channel. So using which we can, what we do is we can send the notifications to Slack through Jira. So that is called integration. We integrate additional like some other tools to Jira, and then we can track the work in that tool only, not even coming to Jira. So it sends those notifications and all. So these are multiple softwares that can be integrated with Jira. And then that is management is one, and the other is project management. So if you have a small project and you want to track each and everything that is being happening in that project, you can use Jira. So for that, so basically Jira is mainly like Jira works on three concepts. One is project, the other is issues, and the other is workflow. So coming to projects, like we have multiple projects available for Jira. So depending on your requirement, what we do is we take multiple, we select the boards. So if you go to Jira, so this is the look and feel of Jira. So I've actually kept it plain to make sure that I will show it to you all live, like how it looks and what all options are available in Jira. So like after you log in, you look at the Jira like this, like it looks like this. So basically, when you log into Jira, what happens is it gives you the whole like some of the filters. I'll come to filters part later, but like here it gives some default filters, and then this is the project. So over here, if you see, you have your work, so which shows like what all you have done. Your recent works would be shown. What are different boards, like boards I will come again, and then queues. What is the backlog that you have? That all the backlogs can be looked in through this one. um, and then so this is a blank board. After you log into Jira, you see it like this. Now if you see over here, it is a Kanban company managed. So you have these different types of projects that you can create if you have the admin rights of Jira. So basically, Jira has multiple rights also. Like, are you a user of Jira? Are you an admin of the Jira? Are you just been invited to use some of the parts of Jira? So depending on your account type, you would be able to see some of the features. Like, everybody would not be able to see all the features. So because this project has been created by me, I would be able to see so many options. And if your email is being invited, then maybe I can restrict your account. So, like, how much you would be able to see. So this gives the user a lot of security also. Like, they know, like, even if I'm inviting someone, where am I restricting them? So that gives a confidence to them that their data is secure over there. They will show the other users only what they want them to see. So like that, while creating a project, I have different types of projects. So this is a Kanban company managed. So over here, what happens is that you have a simple board, and which helps the company, the manager level access, and manager would be looking at the work, how much is pending, what is in progress, what is the upcoming task. So if you go to Jira, like, see, this is a project. See, this is a board. Okay. Over here, the board is empty because I haven't created anything. So when I create a board, you can actually edit these names. You can add issues over here and then move it from one stage to another stage. So over here, we have this to do, you have in progress, and then done. These are called as workflows. So I will be showing you how the board looks like after the issues are created tomorrow. So this is just to show that from where we can go. So if you go to the boards, inside the boards, you have this active sprint. So inside the active sprint, you create the issue. So basically, Kanban board, what happens is that it shows the issues under multiple sections. So as a manager level, if you consider that I am looking at Jira as a manager level, I know, like, how many tasks are being done today over here and how many are being like are in pending. To do is like it's still the work that needs to be done. In progress is something that people are working on, and done is something like which is already completed. So as a manager, I know what is the backlog, what is pending. Using this, like, if I see this tool, I can understand it. I don't have to dig deep and see like what everything to get to this point. And then Scrum managed. So basically, Kanban board is not compulsory that it follows agile method. It simply shows these 3 points: to do, in progress, and done. So when you go to the Scrum company manage. So again, here Scrum company manage means the manager level, whoever is there, they would be creating this board, and then like they can plan for upcoming backlog work. And after the backlog is finalized, they will prepare the sprint, and then they will look into the work progress, how it is happening. So and we have this Kanban team managed. So as a team lead also, we can create a separate team, a Kanban board. And while creating the boards also, you can restrict who can look it, who can have access to that board. So as a team lead, I have my 10 members working. So I want to just keep a track of what my team is only doing. So Jira, you can actually invite more than 100, like more than 100 people can actually use Jira at a time in an organization. So I have only 10 members in my team, and I want to track what my team is being doing. So for that also, I can create the Kanban board, I can create the Scrum board, depending on what my requirements are. And that I can restrict only to my team. So like if I have another colleague of mine who is a team lead and he wants to look at my team's progress, I wouldn't want that to happen. So I would restrict that. Oh, sorry, this is not company managed, this is team managed. And then we have team lead also have two, Kanban and then Scrum. So we can create, like depending on what my requirement, I create either Kanban or create the Scrum one. And then we have the bug tracking. So majorly Jira is being used for bug tracking also. So basically what happens is that as a company, you would create the stories, issues, epics and all, and then you would like want the bugs which are related to that story or related to that task to be monitored. So those bugs. So if I want, I would here I would be creating a bug. So if I select this bug and then create a bug, like it shows like what is the status of the bug, who is looking after the bug, and then who would be completing that bug. So the whole life cycle of bug can be monitored over here. And then IT service project. So basically Jira we have internally. So if you consider a company, so a company would be having a IT section, IT team. So for any request, any IT service you need, you can create a Jira ticket. So for that also you can create one project, and then the IT team would be given all the admin rights. So for example, I as an employee want access to a laptop. So I can create one Jira ticket and then assign it to the IT team. So what happens here is that we have a lot of transparency. So if someone wants to know the status of a laptop, then they can simply open that Jira ticket and then see like who is being assigned to that laptop. So it gives, so your assets are safe, and then any IT issues that you are facing, it could be your cable issue, it could be your Mac issue, it could be anything related to IT. If you are trying to log into the office Wi-Fi and you are facing an issue, you are restricted. So IT team also has this facility that they can restrict someone from using the cameras, using the mics of laptops. So depending on the company's policies, the IT team can maintain the data in using Jira. And then internal service projects. So to maintain an organization, we need facilities team, we need accounts team, we need IT team. So these are all separate like pillars of the company, but they have to coordinate and then work. So Jira helps to give that coordination a more strong base. Like so, because as I said, we have IT team, we have facilities. So each team will have a separate project like this. So this one I just added as a BA training. So IT will have a IT project, accounts will have accounts project. So depending on the project that you are selecting, the issue types also may change. Those details I can give you in detail tomorrow. Like I'll create everything and then show you in detail like what are the issue types that are present in different projects. And then external service project. For some companies, what happens is that they have a customer support service also. Like if you consider Facebook, for example. So Facebook, if you have any issues, you can report something. So when such things happen, what happens is that this external service team, what they do is that they collect all the bugs that are present in this in the Jira, and then they will come up with a solution like we are already having these many bugs because of which your issue has been arised. And later, what they do is they'll give a um, concrete answer to the customer that yes, we are looking into it, we are and then internally what happens is the customer representative can um, take those bugs and then again reassign to the developer that this is an issue that is being that sorry, yeah. So the customer representative will come back to the developer and say that the customer is facing this issue and we already have bugs. So when that happens, the developer also knows that they have to prioritize those bugs and then fix it as soon as possible. So to make that work, that also work in a more smooth way, we use Jira for us as an external service project. So understanding the type of project that we need in Jira is more important. So depending on the organization you are in, depending on the position you are in, depending on what work you are supposed to do, you should understand what project is needed for you. So will only Scrum team managed work for me, or will bug tracking also be needed? And if we consider you are setting up an organization, so I would be needing all of these. I would be needing to set up an IT service project. I need internal service project. So mainly understanding what is the need for us is more important. Once we have a clarification of what I need, then we can use Jira in that way. So these are the projects, and then after projects we have issues. So everything in Jira is considered as an issue. So we can consider Jira issue as the main uh, point here. And under issues, we have these many types: epic, story, task, subtask, and bugs. So what is an epic? So as a BA, if you have to write a user story, and if you know that the user story would be can be divided into multiple small chunks of work, then you would be creating an epic. So basically, when you create an epic, what happens? Like I see, I'm taking up an issue type as an epic. So Jira gives us one more like facility that looking at the icon over here, you would be understanding what type of issue it is. So if you see every issue type has a different icon present. So issue type is epic. So when you select epic, what happens is like depending on the task issue type you are selecting, the columns over here, the features shown over here will change. If you see, like these have changed a little. And also you have this option of configuring the fields. So these are all different fields which will help us to maintain the data, or looking at the feature or looking at the issue. We know like what are the linked issues, what is the priority of the issue. And so, okay, I'll go one by one. Assignee. So over here, who is an assignee? We have 100 members in the team. and we have to assign this epic to a single person. So if we see this field assignee, we can give one name over here. I want to add Veer Reddy sir's like I want to create an epic and then I want to assign it to Veer Reddy sir. So I will simply select his name in this field. That means whenever a person looks at the epic and see the assignee, they can directly go to this person and then ask what is the status of it, or if you want any details related to this epic, you can consider, you can directly go to that person. And then attachments. So basically Jira, like over here, if you see, we have this option of attaching something. So you can actually attach a video, you can attach a screenshot into this, which is used as a supporting data. So Jira supports that also. And over here, if you see components, you have multiple. I'll come to components in detail later. So we'll keep components for later. And then now if we go to description, you have this field. So in description, you can do it in your freestyle, like the common language you want to write, you can write it. If your organization have some standards to be followed, then you can follow that standard and then write it. You also have multiple options over here. So if you want to change the style of the description, you can change, you can make it bold, you can use see, you can also attach from here. If you want to link anything, like if you have written this, and if you want to link it, you can simply select it and then link to external link, main link, anchor link. So you have all these options. You can link the text which is written in the demo. And then see. So this will automatically take the reporter's name. Whoever is creating this one, that will automatically take. You need not have to fill the data. And then epic link and epic name. So basically, you can create one epic and then you can link one more epic to this one if you need. So that field also is available over here. So epic link, basically, if you see here, yeah, 1 second. So I am creating an epic here. And then I give a summary. So summary, basically what happens is a one-liner which should basically give a understanding after reading it. Like so over here, I'm changing. So like you give the summary in this way so that it is easily understandable. Like if someone has to read what this epic is or understand what this epic is, they should be able to understand looking at the summary. They need not have to go to the description. And in description, I give multiple details over here, like what is the name of the member, why is it being promoted. So if I have to give a description for this, so what is the name of the member, why is he promoted, from when is he supposed to be promoted, where or like where is his details to be reflected, at what point. So all those details you are supposed to give in the description. And then reporter would obviously be the person who is creating it, and linked issues. So here what happens is you have multiple options over here. So if you have to link this epic to something and you say why is it linked to it, so is it blocking something else, is it blocked by something else, or clones matlab it is like a same like same task you are creating for another one. So so here I'm giving team member 1. So there is already a ticket which says, which is created for team member 2. In that case, I can clone over here, clone one ticket to another. So all the data which is available in clone 1 would be shown over here. Is cloned by is um, like, is the details taken from some other ticket? Then we consider this. And then duplicates. So these two are mainly used for bugs. If someone if a developer has to work on the bugs, what they first see is if the bug is a duplicate or not. So if there is a duplicate already present, then they simply link this issue stating that they'll select a duplicate and then search for another issue which is a duplicate and then link it. So that this by doing this, what happens is one issue is being linked to the other. So when you open one, you are automatically looking at the other one also. And then assignee, as I said, like, see, you can assign the ticket to yourself or you can assign it to others. And then you can set the priorities. It is again depending on the organization if you have the permission to set the priority of the epic or not. So sometimes what happens is that the BA is given the permission to set the priority, and sometimes the manager says, no, you just prepare the epic depending on what the data is. I would be setting up the priority. So the higher, I think you all are aware of this highest, medium, low, and lowest. So depending on how this priority is set, the development team would be working accordingly. And then labels. So these are like freestyle labels which can be created by anyone. For example, if I say, okay, so once I create this label and then select this, that means this is stored in the Jira cloud. So next time for any epic creation, if I want to select the same label, I can simply click on the drop down and this will be available. So you can add anything over here, like the labels depending on what you want. So basically, if you say this is a test one, so I can add this. And this don't have any restrictions, like you have to add only 2 labels, only 3 labels. So I can add multiple over here. It would not restrict me to stop. So labels will help us to filter out data in the future. If you want to know what all, so okay. So I'm saying this, and then if I save this epic, then later if I want to look out how many epics have been created with the label BA classes. So if I add this label to each and every epic that I have created, and then I want to filter out, I can use this one option. And then sprints. So basically, I haven't created any sprint. That's why we don't have any matches over here. Else, there will be a drop down of available sprints. It could be current ongoing sprint. It could be the upcoming sprint. Whatever is there, you can select that sprint. That means the epic that I am creating would be related to this sprint. It will automatically go under that bucket. See, after I have created this epic, we have this. The description that I have shown, assignee, because I have not assigned anyone, it is showing as unassigned. Here, this one shows the reporter. The reporter is me, I have created with this account. And then the labels that which I have added are shown over here. So over here also, if I click on this, it will redirect me to all the issues that are added under the label BA classes. And then because the priority is set to medium, this is showing here. And the epic name which I have given was my first epic. So that is shown over here. And then if you see this, so this shows the timestamp. So any change done to the ticket, it will reflect the timestamp. So here it was created 1 minute ago and then updated also 1 minute ago. And here also you can see comments. So here you write a comment. So I've written a comment over here. So over here you also see the history. Like if you don't want to see the comments, you want to see the history over here. So this shows the history that this was created 2 minutes ago. If you So that is mainly about comments. Like anybody who has access to this ticket can comment. They can edit the comments that they have filed, that they have already written, and then they can also delete it. And history shows whatever changes are done. Like even if I make some changes to this, so I basically have edited this. So if I go to the history, here it shows what was before and what has been changed. So it clearly shows that I have updated the description part and what was before editing and what is after editing. So and then create issues in Epic. So after you create the Epic, you go here, and then here you have these options. You have a task, you have a story, you have a bug. So you can create anything under an Epic. So basically, what is a story? So as I said, Epic is a very big chunk of work. So all your user stories you would be adding into an Epic, and then you would be dividing that into stories. So stories is like a small part of the Epic. So So a story is automatically created over here, and this will be automatically linked to Epic because I'm creating it inside this Epic. So it is linked automatically. So I go into this story. So if you can see this also, it gives you a tracking like exactly where the story is saved. So this is inside the BA training project. Inside this Epic, there is a story. So over inside the story also, you can add a description. And same as the Epic, you will have the same options of comments, history, workflow, new. So over here, you can also like sort it out. You want the oldest first or the newest first. So what happens is like in the timestamp, it shows the oldest first. If we select that, and if we select newest first, it shows the new ones. Like latest, whatever is the latest will be showing at the top. And then to the story, we can link issues. If you have multiple tasks already created, you can link all those into this story using this. And from here, you can create a subtask. So again, a story can be again divided into smaller versions. So if you consider that a story would take 10 days to complete, then what you can do is you would divide that story into subtasks, and each task would be assigned to different members. And okay, and each member would be completing it in one day. So for example, if you want this story to be completed in a single day with 10 members, in that case, what you do is you will divide this story into 10 subtasks and assign it to each member. So 10 members would complete this subtask, and once all the subtasks are completed, only then we say that this story is completed. We have 6 more over here. Okay. I think every one of you know what a story point is, and you can basically add the story points if you need. So it's not compulsory that every story, like every organization depends on story points, but knowing it, and if you want to add it, you can do it. And then original estimate. So basically, when you're creating a story, you can estimate the time, like how many time, like how much time would it need? Will it take 10 days? Will it take 1 day? And time tracking, if you want, you can put it. It's not mandatory. And then sprints also, like as I said, as I haven't created any sprint, it is not showing up here, and I would not be able to add one. But if there is a sprint available, we can link this story to that sprint. So this gives a member, or any person who is opening a story, the complete picture of what this story is. Like, okay, or the epic is. So if I go to this, I know that this is an epic that is in open state, which has one story, which is still again in open state, and it is not assigned to anyone, and it belongs to this class, and it does not have a highest priority, and it belongs to this sprint. And if you have any versions, so basically what happens is that the work, if you are working on a like app development, okay, we have multiple versions coming up week-wise or bi-weekly or on a daily basis. So if this epic can be worked only in the fixed version of version, I say 1.0, it is not available. That is why it won't show. But basically what happens is the versions can be written over here. So if I look at this whole epic, I will come to a conclusion, like what is the description of it, what work has been done. If you go to the history or comments, you will know like what comments have been done. So this gives a basic idea of what an epic is, like what this epic is related. And here, if you go, these are the statuses, or yeah, these are the workflows of any issue. So this is to do. To do is like it is already, it is just created. Nobody has started working on it. And then if I say it is in progress, that means someone is working on this one. So if, because I changed it to in progress, that means I am working on it. And once I complete this epic, I give a comment stating that yes, I've completed this task, and then I move this one into done state. So if you go to issues, all issues, see, so this gives you an, oh, okay. here it states that there are 2 issues that are created, and this is the title of what we have created. It shows the assignees. So we have these options, like you can view the issues in detailed view or in a list view. So in list, what happens is that it gives a gist of everything over here. So if, because this story is selected, it is giving the story details over here, and then the basic details what are needed. If I'm selecting the epic, so if you see this story is still in to-do list, to do. And if I'm going to the epic, it is showing that it is in done state. And issues in this epic. So you can also see that because the story was created inside this epic, you can also see that this is related to this epic from here. And the state, the workflows which are mentioned over here, the to do, in progress, and done. So these are the basic 3 statuses that are given by Jira in default, and we also have the option of updating it. Like you can also add multiple statuses like invalidation, or you can also add as duplicate. You can add a status as won't fix. So all those options we like the admin of Jira will have, and if the organization wants to add multiple statuses, then the admin can add those. So over here, because you have only this, if you see this workflow, so we have only these 3 currently. So to do, and after you create, it goes to do, and then it goes to in progress, and then it goes to done. And if the admin has made sure that 2 more are added, 2 more statuses are added, then your workflow would be showing up those options also. So filters and dashboards, I can make you all understand it after I create multiple like issues and stories. Then it will be clear as in how we can filter out the data. So here I've created an epic and story, and then you can create, like you can create a task also separately. So this task would not be linked to any of the epic or the story currently, because I am creating it from here. I am not going inside any of the epic or story and creating it. So while creating a task also, you have the same options of adding a summary, you add an attachment, you give the description. And from here, you can select the epic link. See, because the epic was created, I can select it from here. And the labels, as I said, see, so BA classes is already created. So that is showing as an suggestion. And if you don't want to select this one, and if you want to add something new, then also you can add it from here or select from the suggestions. And this is about a task. And if you want to add a bug, so bug basically would be created mostly by either developers or by the QA team. So mostly by the QA team. And if developers performing unit tests and finding any bugs, they would be adding it over here. So again, here, because we have only a single project, you are see, you have the other you have a single project, it is showing over here. If you have multiple projects in Jira, it shows the options of selecting that project. and then the same thing, the summary, and then you'd be adding the description. You would be giving the environment. So in a bug, the environment would consider the browser that you are using, what is the version of the application that you are using, so and how many different browsers you have used. All those details can be added into the environment part. And then it's not compulsory, like again the same thing, it's not mandatory that you link everything to the epics, but if you want to add, it can be shown over here. So you can also custom what fields you want to show in a bug. See, these are all not selected. If you want, you can select these for a bug. So if you see, the epic is not here currently because I haven't configured it. I just removed it from here. So if you want to add an epic link, then you can select it. Then it will be shown over here. The field would be shown here. So basically, you have all the options, like whichever data you want to show. If you want to keep it very simple with selecting on, giving only the details of what the summary is, what the description is, you can do that. Or if you want all the fields, like you want every field to be shown, even for a bug, then you can select the fields accordingly. So filters would be from here. I would show that later. So if you see, these are something that are already given. So I can basically select from here. So if I go to my open issues, okay. So these were reported by me. And then open issues, because the epic is moved into closed done state, that is not showing over here. So open issues, I have only one, and done issues, I have, because this is in the done state, it is showing over here. Okay, viewed recently. So this will basically show both of it because I have opened both the epic and the story recently. And resolved recently. So which bugs have been closed recently? And then updated. So both will come because like there is no much gap. So if I like I've created this and then I updated one of the story today and I'm looking at this filter tomorrow, then you will know the difference, like how is it different. Like it will not show epic, it will show only story if I go to updated recently tomorrow, not today. So basically the Jira looks like this, and like until now anybody have any doubts on this?
The one you are showing is like from the manager, like project manager at some point of view, right? How does it look to the user or the one who wants?
So the view would always remain the same.
Mhm.
The only difference is that how the manager like what all fields the manager wants them to see.
Okay, only restricted things they can see it,
Yes,
correct?
yes, yes. The view would again will remain the same.
No, the query is like I can see all the issues or like whichever is assigned to me, only I can see it in that.
Okay. So as the project is created, as I said, like we have two types of projects, right? One is company level and the other is a team level.
Yes.
Okay. If you are from team B and I am from team A, and I have created some of the issues which is restricted only to my team members, then you would not be having access to it.
Okay.
So if you are given access to project A, I am given access to project A and B, then I would be able to see A, B, you would be able to see only project A.
Mm. Okay.
Did that clear your doubt?
Yes, but if you can show us like creating one project and
Yeah. Tomorrow, what I'll
Yeah.
do is I'll be creating it. Like I would be creating multiple projects with restrictions, without restrictions, and then logging in with multiple users, and then showing how it differs, how the UI differs.
okay, fine. That
Okay.
should be fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone, one point I want to tell you. This is Veer. Okay. Am I audible to everyone?
Yeah. You are.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I will tell you one thing. See, how we planned this session is Jira. Most of you people are seeing it for the first time. If I'm not wrong. Okay, right? Most of the people are seeing that first Jira tool first time in your career as a BA, right? So how we planned it is first day uh, we want to show you, okay, how to manage, how to do different small tasks in Jira. That is what. See, I don't want to show you first day itself like how to create the project and then how to do that and all. No. See, one simple example I'll tell you. Suppose if you want to learn a new language, or when we learn as a child in the childhood, when you learn any Telugu or English, any language, how do we learn? First of all, do you learn A, B, C, D, and all those things, or will they teach you what is apple and like that? We learn the words first instead of letters, right? You understand? First we learn so many words. Okay, we start talking with that, using that words first, and then after 1 year or 2 year, I mean after learning that one, we will start learning ABCDs. In when you go to school, they will teach you ABCDs. But first, before going to the school itself, you will learn some words and everything, right? Okay, so that when you learn that ABCDs, you can understand, right, in a proper way. Same way, how we design this one is Jira is first time tool for every one of us. And when you see it first time, you will have a lot of confusion also because number of fields, number of different things, assignment. I mean, assigning one number of, see, it is mixture of roles, number of roles, as well as number of fields, as well as number of tasks, and different like epic will be there, story will be there, task will be there. That coordination should be there, right? So what she has done is today she showed you what is epic. Okay, just like a word, I mean one particular thing, and then under epic we can create what is user story. Okay, we have seen. Okay, and what is task, what is bug, and how the fields we can change it, how we can play with each one. Okay, that is the main goal for today. Okay, first you have seen that and you have understood certain things. Okay, but we have not yet aligned everything till now. Tomorrow she is going to tell you how to open Jira. Okay, now today as you got some knowledge about certain things, certain activities, how we can do in the Jira. Tomorrow she will tell you how to open the Jira, and then how to create a project. Okay, with some role like project manager or someone. Everyone cannot create the project, right? As a developer or as a tester, you cannot create the big project. Only project manager or PO or scrum master only can create it, those people only. So as a project manager or someone, she will create the project. Okay, and then under that she will assign some roles and everything. Okay, and then some, first how to create the epic, and then after that under epic how can we create the user story, and then tasks, and then assigning it to team members, and how they can look at each one. Okay, so that flow we are going to see tomorrow. Fine. and day after tomorrow, if possible. Okay, based on the situation. Okay, everyone understood that?
Yes.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Today we have seen only different parts that we are going to use inside the Jira. So if you get this idea first, tomorrow when she tells you the flow, you can easily understand. Okay, yesterday I have seen this. Okay, oh, like this you are going to use. Okay, under this it is going to use like this. Under this it is going to like this. First day itself we started the story means it will not go into mind. Okay, fine. So any doubts now? You ask her. No, right? Okay. I will do one thing. Uh, anyway, I have recorded this session also. Anyway, we'll share it with you people. Not a problem. And next point I want to tell you is today you go to internet, YouTube or something, and try to open something like Jira for beginners or something. You type there Jira for beginners. Open any URL and just try to see that. Okay, see that. Okay, any project. Okay, any just one of the video for 10-15 minutes or something like that. You try to watch that Jira for beginners URLs. Okay, anything. So that will give you more insight, or you will get more understanding now whatever we discussed today and tomorrow also. You can easily follow that. Just to do that, for at least you spend half an hour of time today. Okay, without fail, so that you can easily understand that. Okay, for those people who have already experience in this, it is nothing for them. But for those people who are seeing the tool for first time, it will be like clumsy kind of thing. Okay, to avoid that, you do this just half an hour you spend in your net, in YouTube. You see one Jira related beginners URL, you will get some idea. Okay, so that you can easily follow whatever we are saying, as well as you can understand. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, you do that without fail. You do that without fail, which will give you more confidence. Okay, and easily you can understand. Okay, fine, sir. Then, if you don't have any doubts and anything, then we can log off for the day. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock, we'll join same class.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, fine, fine, everyone. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Anyway, I put all these videos also we are going to share with you. Okay, so that later point of time also you can see that. Okay, fine, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.